Sprint. Its shares surged almost 15% after the mobile carrier said it was in talks with Japan's Softbank. Those negotiations could lead to the Japanese tech giant taking a major stake in Sprint. Sprint may have a savior, and it could use the help and money from Softbank. Sprint has been struggling for 7 years, a disastrous merger with Nextel and an expensive tab to modernize its wireless network. But Sprint insisted today its talks with Softbank are in early stages. Although there can be no assurances that these discussions will result in any transaction or on what terms any transaction may occur, such a transaction could involve a change of control of Sprint. Reportedly, Softbank would invest nearly $13 billion for a majority stake in Sprint. That could go a long way to help Sprint compete with rivals AT&T and Verizon and pay for its investment in mobile broadband provider Clearwire.
I think the one piece of the puzzle with Sprint that was always a little worrisome was their investment in Clearwire. So to the extent that that helps bolster Clearwire, could make Sprint an even better investment. But we'll have to wait and see if how this encapsulates Clearwire, if it does at all.
Michael Bowen of Pacific Crest Securities has been following this closely, and he joins us now. So, Michael, is this a good deal if it happens for Sprint?
Well, it's definitely a good deal for Sprint because it would alleviate a lot of pressure on their balance sheet, and that would help them compete against the two top carriers, Verizon and AT&T, more effectively.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Sprint has been struggling on the competitive landscape. Will it be in a better position to compete with Verizon and AT&T? How will Softbank help its competitive dynamic?
Well, I think first and foremost, it would help from a competitive standpoint, but I will stress this, that in the past, Sprint, as you mentioned, has had some difficulties with regard to some of the integrations they've gone through. Recently, though, Dan Hesse and the team have done a very good job with network vision and also starting to shut down the IDEN network. They're planning on getting out of the Nextel IDEN network by mid-2013. So before any of this came to be, we had said that we thought Sprint would be worth about $6.50. Now, that's before Softbank would come in and potentially take 70% of the company as an investment for nearly $13 billion, as you mentioned. And Sprint right now has over $21 billion in debt. They have $14.5 billion of net debt. So that type of investment would free up their balance sheet to do things such as increase their spectrum holdings. And while Sprint has said they've got ample spectrum through the beginning of 2014, as I'm sure you and everybody else understands, spectrum is a scarce commodity at this point and will continue to be so, particularly since the FCC, while they said they will try to get more auctions out in the next 2 to 3 years of 300 gigahertz, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to have that occur. So right now, this would allow them to invest.
But let's just say that this deal doesn't go through because it's in the preliminary stages. Can Sprint go it alone, and what's plan B?
Well, they can go it alone, and so A, yes, they can go it alone. I think it's worth $6.50. B, if they go it alone, then we've said that they may go after Metro PCS, which T-Mobile has made a bid for as well.
So as you look at
that would allow them to gain spectrum as well.
All right. As you look at the stocks in this space, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, who are the winners? Who are the losers? What are you recommending?
Well, right now we're definitely recommending Sprint. We like Verizon quite a bit. They're in a very good position right now. They've got a lot of momentum with iPhone. And then, the jury's out on Metro PCS right now. It's going up and down depending upon what we're hearing out of the news. We think those shares are worth about $11.28, but it really depends upon if Sprint comes back and potentially makes a counteroffer.
All right, that's a very fluid situation. Any disclosures to make, Michael? Do you own any of these stocks? Are you doing business with them?
No, I do not.
Okay, Michael Bowen, Senior Equity Analyst at Pacific Crest Securities. Thanks a lot for coming on the program.